Good evening, everyone. We'll be starting the webinar shortly. Kindly be patient.
A very good evening, everyone. I guess everyone is here. So let's start the event. I, Medha Srivastav, the Bhumi coordinator, on the behalf of Amity Centre of Happyness and Bhumi Club, welcomes you all to the event GARBURATOR, that is a waste segregation campaign. Today, we are going to have a webinar based on waste segregation, and further, we'll be demonstrating the 3 days challenge that we are going to have for 3 days, and we'll have a short feedback session after that on Sunday. So let's begin the webinar. As we can see, we always talk of save water, save free, or save energy. But are we missing out something that is really necessary? Yeah, we do. And that is waste. Waste that we generate daily is a really essential part of our life. As what do you mean by waste? Firstly, we should see that. Waste is an unwanted or unusual material or any substance which is discarded after primary use or is worthless, defective, and of no use. So, do you know how many types of waste are there? Here in this diagram, we can see there are different types of waste, whether it be paper, glass, organic, plastic, e-waste, or metals.
Now we come to waste segregation, the agenda of this webinar. Waste segregation can be defined as separation of wet and dry waste. The segregated dry waste can be recycled and the wet waste can be turned into compost. The wet waste comprises of all the biodegradable things that, for example, coconut shells, vegetable waste, fruits waste, wood, eggshells, nails, hair, leaves, tea leaves, soiled cotton, food waste, dust, etc. And under dry waste comes paper, plastic, metals, thermocoals, leather, vaccines, fabrics, anything that can be kept for a long duration of time and they are recyclable. Now, what is the need for segregation? First of all, the organic waste that is being segregated can be turned into compost that is required for farming. Uh, Plants require that for nutrition. And the amount of waste that we dump goes to landfills. If we segregate, that can be reduced considerably. The plastic, paper, and metal waste can be reused and sold to scrap dealers for recycling. Now we come to the benefits of waste segregation. Most of us think, what is the use of segregation, why we are attending this webinar, and what is the purpose of this 3 days waste segregation challenge. So if we are segregating waste, first most important thing is we are reducing the landfills. Most of you must have observed that in your city there's a specific area of land where the Garbage that is collected from our homes is dumped. Waste to profit. You can turn waste into profit by converting into energy and recycling them. Reduces haulage and pollution, conserves embodied energy, less litter and pests. Of course, flies will be less. Uh, in India, most of the uh, cities, you can see that there are cows and dogs hovering over the litter on the roads. Support and dignifies livelihood, enables more material recovery. Compost feeds the earth. That is the biodegradable waste we are talking about. And if we are reducing the landfills, if we are segregating waste, of course, there will be more cleanliness, safety, and better health. Less pests lead to cleanliness, and thus we have better health. Now, the last one is cost and time saving of waste management. This is the most important part of waste segregation, and we'll be looking into next. Waste management involves the activities connected with collection and disposal of wastes. And these activities can be seen in this circle. First of all, the waste is collected. Most of you must have heard that famous song, Gaadi wala aaya ghar se kachra nikal. That is waste collection strategy that our government has been using. Now that Gaadi wala transports that waste, and then that waste is segregated, then recycled, and the waste that is left is disposed. And last of all them is minimization and control of the waste. Here we can see in this diagram how energy is obtained from waste. The waste is collected, then transferred to a plant where it is heated, processed, and converted into energy, which can be used as either electricity, gas supplies at home, fuel for our vehicles. Now comes the waste management hierarchy. What is the most desirable option and least desirable option? As you can see, this is an inverted pyramid which shows shows reduction, reuse, recycle, or compost, recover, disposable. Reduction of waste is most preferable because if you reduce, there would be less waste, and then less amount of waste would be dumped on the landfills. Then if you can't reduce, then you can reuse. For example, you can use the plastic bottles of Kinley or Aquafina to plant plants, small saplings, or make bird feeders out of them. And you can recycle paper or leather products, plastic, etc. And if we are not able to follow these three steps, we recover energy as shown in the previous slide. And last of all is disposable. If we can't reduce, reuse, recycle, or recover, dispose it off.
So now we are going to talk about composting of wet kitchen waste. Have you ever given a thought that half of what we carelessly throw into the trash, especially the kitchen waste, is actually organic matter? The organic matter which can produce rich topsoil for our plants. Most of the population do not even separate dry waste from wet waste, which actually leads to black gold, and that is junkyard. Also, mixing wet waste with paper, plastic, metal, especially the recyclable waste, can also make them less recoverable. That is why composting is a very major idea in order to save our environment and provide rich conditioning to our plants. What is composting? Composting is a natural process that breaks down the organic material into a dark, rich substance that ultimately gives us manure. It acts as a wonderful conditioner for soil. It is one of the simplest forms of recycling that involves everyday kitchen waste. All this kitchen waste consists of rich nutrients and minerals, which favors the conditioning and growth of plants, especially for those people who loves gardening and they want their garden to flow, and they bring soil from outside contains a lot of chemicals, but when you can make organic waste from your home, there's no toxicity at all. Now let's see how this compost is formed. First of all, you can separate your edible kitchen waste like vegetable peels, fruit peels, eggshells, and keep it in a container or a pot. You can also collect dry organic matter like leaves, sawdust, and put it in the container. Let all these things dry for a few days. You can add everything into an earthen pot, which can be simply a paint box also. Leave it dry for a few days, and after that, cover it with a plastic sheet to help it retain moisture and heat. Every few days, give your pile a quick turn to give aeration if the pile is too dry. If the pile is too dry, then sprinkle some water so that moisture is maintained. Keep this for at least 1 or 2 months and your compost will be ready. Now you can use this compost as manure in your personal gardens. Why you should adopt the practice of composting? Composting is a nature's way of recycling. Through the process, you help to reduce waste load from the planet. Have you ever given a thought that by segregating, recycling, and composting, a family can reduce 1,000 kg of waste? It helps in enriching the soil, and moreover, it helps in reducing the toxicity. It is also known for reducing the need for chemical fertilizers. As I said before, the ones which you bring from shops contains a lot of chemical compounds. Moreover, it helps in reducing methane emissions from the landfills and lowers your carbon footprint. So these are the advantages that will not only make our city green, but will also help to start enriching your garden from your home.
Now we'll be showing how you have to proceed with the 3-day challenge, and then we'll talk about the concept of zero waste.
Sorry for the network issue, guys. we'll have a talk on zero waste first, then at last we'll be demonstrating the challenge. So what is zero waste and how does this concept came in? So defining the zero waste is a philosophy that encourages the redesign of resource life cycles so that all products are reused. No trash is sent to landfills and incinerators, and the process recommended is one similar to the way that resources are reused in nature. The zero waste system was founded by PhD chemist Paul Palmer in the mid 1970s in Oakland, in California. So let's see, what does zero waste mean? Zero waste can be achieved by various sources like by reusing, repair and recycling, and also by producer responsibility, as it's our responsibility how much waste we produce and how we reduce it. It can also be achieved by composting and biodigestion. Along with that, there are various supportive policies given by the government and the citizen participation and workers' rights. So there's one major way how zero waste can be also achieved, that is by banning on waste incineration. Now let's see the 5 R's that is helpful in reducing the waste we consume. So the 5 R's to achieve zero waste are reuse. Reuse simply means know how to say no to whatever not essential. So we should always follow the policy of reuse. And after that, we come upon reduce. Reduce means adopt the minimal tendencies of waste consumption. And after that, we come upon refuse, which means that give items a second life. That is, refuse making it once usable. You can use it many a times or give it a second life. After that, the concept of recycle develops, in which the priorities recyclable packaging is done. And at last but not the least, I would talk about rot. Rot simply means composting all the organic waste that we have seen in the last slides of composting. How we can use the kitchen waste, that is the dry waste, the wet waste from our home, and use it for composting. So here are a few tips that we can take to have zero waste consumption, and I would request you to kindly try it at your homes. We can bring our own cups or utensils while we uh, we are going somewhere, or like we can use your own eco bags. You can use your reusable water bottles rather than throwing the plastic bottles here and there. We can bring our own shopping bags while shopping. You can use reusable straw, either throwing the plastic ones in the dustbins and we can't use it again. So we should use reusable straw. We can use the glass jars at our home rather than the plastic ones. We can use steel or glass lunch boxes. We should use stainless safety razor, and we should make our own products, like we can have some organic things produced at our home only. We can just use the bamboo toothbrush rather than the plastic ones that we use. We can try plastic free alternatives, as we all know that plastic is really hazardous to the climate. Now we end up our presentation over here, and now we'll have a small quiz regarding the waste segregation that we learned. So the link for the quiz will be posted in the WhatsApp group. Kindly join the quiz, and after that we'll be having our demonstration. The link for the quiz has been posted on the group. Kindly check it and join with the game code provided. Here are two dustbins, green. Everyone join first, please. I can only see 20 over there, and here are 36 people in the meeting.
It's a very interesting quiz, guys. You just have to, give some answers of the simple question. You love it.
Where's the link for the quiz?
Ma'am, it's in the WhatsApp group.
Oh, thank
I
you.
just joined that, so please send it again.
Yeah, sure, we'll send it. There are 30 participants over there. Who are the rest four who haven't joined it? Please join. We'll start in 2 minutes. Now I'm going to start the quiz. Be ready. 20 players have completed the quiz. Be a bit fast, guys. Still, we have 13 left. It's more than 10 minutes now. I'm going to end the quiz. 5 are left, so be a bit fast. So we have the results now. Kashish won the game. Congratulations, Kashish. It was a nice game. You all played really well. So now we are gonna have few videos that our volunteers have sent on waste segregation, and at last we'll be demonstrating our challenge.
स्वच्छ भारत का इरादा इरादा कर लिया हमने देश से अपनी ये वादा कर लिया हमने
स्वच्छ भारत का इरादा कर लिया हमने देश से अपने ये वादा कर लिया हमने
स्वच्छ भारत का इरादा इरादा कर लिया हमने देश से अपने ये वादा कर लिया हमने
हमसे निकलेगी स्वच्छता की एक नदी सल 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 कल 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 एक धुली सी जिंदगी स्वच्छता की जोत लेकर घर घर जाएंगे साफ सुथरी रोशनी में सब नहाएंगे
स्वच्छ भारत का इरादा इरादा कर लिया हमने देश से अपनी ये वादा कर लिया हमने
हर गली अब उन्नति की राह जाएगी उपवासा की आंगन आंगन गाएगी स्वप्न गांधी जी का अब साकार करना है स्वच्छता का देश में त्योहार करना है
So that was a video from one of our volunteers of Bhumi Club. So now we will proceed for the 3 days challenge demonstration.
किचन से आया Here are two dustbins, green and blue. ग्रीन में वो वेस्ट जाता है जो हमारी किचन से आया होता है जैसे कि पील ऑफ मटेरियल this potato peel and carrot peel, onion peel, etc. They all go in green dustbin, whereas the waste such as wrappers, plastic bottles, and these small boxes, lunch boxes, and these wrappers, they all go in blue dustbin.
Real, it's not visible. Wait, let me do.
Sorry. Late again.
Video was not visible.
Share again. Is it visible now?
Yeah, it's visible. You can play it.
Here are two dustbins, green and blue. ग्रीन में वो वेस्ट जाता है जो हमारी किचन से आया होता है जैसे कि पील ऑफ मटेरियल this potato peel and carrot peel, onion peel, etc. They all go in green dustbin, whereas the waste such as wrappers, plastic bottles, and these small boxes, lunch boxes, and these wrappers, they all go in blue dustbin.
So that was a glance how you have to do the 3 days challenge. Now I'll explain you step wise what you have to basically do. So here's the task that you all have to take. You have to make two separate dustbins, one for a dry waste and another for the wet waste at your homes. And what you need to do is you have to segregate the waste for 3 days, and you have to post the pictures or small video clips on your social media sites, and you have to use our hashtags that will be provided on the WhatsApp groups, and you have to tag Bhumi Club along with the Happiness Amity Club for the same, so that we can spread the word among the masses. Just you can also try to make the waste out of the wet one, and you can also get a special feature on our page. So the hashtags that you need to add in your post or stories will be sharing on the WhatsApp group. So you all have to make two dustbins, one for a wet and one for dry one, and do segregation for 3 days and keep tagging us so that we can spread the word in the masses that we are having a waste segregation campaign. That's all for the 3 days challenge. And after the 3 days challenge on Sunday, we'll organize one feedback session in which we'll portray the work done by you, and also we'll have a small composting session in which we'll try to arrange a guest, and we'll have a small session in which we can you can come on the camera and also make the compost out of the waste that you collected from your wet waste. So we'll be back on Sunday. So that's all for today. Thanks for joining us, guys, and hope you all participate in the challenge for 3 days. And we'll be back soon on Sunday when we'll have our feedback session. Thanks a lot for joining us, and stay tuned. Now we're going to end up the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.